Wednesday night guitar. Here we go. Let's turn on the link. Turn on the link. Let's go put the link over on our website. Copy. Close. Website's denverguitarorchestra.com. Control V. Shift. Highlight. Link. Enter. Edit. Settings. Open a new window. Update and update. Whoops. Oh, my mouse died and I'm using the trackpad on this Dell, which it and I do not get along. We're absolutely against each other. And so, all right, let's see if it updated correctly. Meanwhile, I'll go run this over on Twitter. https://denverguitarorchestra.com. Here, go get up guitar, tweet, and there it is. Okay, so we're on Twitter. Roll down and 320-second guitar broadcast. All right, there we go. All right, guys. So tonight we have quite a bit of work to do. We finished up book 1 last week, and so tonight we're going to play through all 5 songs. Then we will plan for September to restart book 1. In book 2, Carnival of Venice is our goal tonight, and then Clementine we'll take a look at. Book 3, You Are My Sunshine and Aloha Oe are our 2 that we're hopefully going to take off the list, and then add on, well, we'll take off one of those depending on how I play each one, and then we will grab Amazing Grace, pretty straightforward tune. It's in key of C is his big problem. And then in our classical group we have our Acadian Lullaby, which I'll be more than happy to get rid of. I think it's, so far of the classical tunes we've worked on, I think it's the least great arrangement. And then, but we get to replace it with the Carcassi's Andantino, which is wonderful. All right, let's see who's made it in so far. Nobody is what it says. Linda's here. Good to see you, Linda. Linda's been here all day. Vic had stuff come up today. Couldn't spend time with us the rest of earlier today. But you're here now, and that's what matters. So thank you, guys, for being involved last night as well. I think I was kidding that you guys were going to do a duet, but not really, right? Yeah, I'm totally kidding. You do not need to feel any pressure one way or the other on that. I do think that it's never a bad idea to have one song that you're like, okay, I'm going to perform this thing in public. I do think that that's always a great motivational thing to have you do that. But again, don't feel like... you might have, at this point, both of you know that sometimes I just say stuff to say stuff just to hear sounds coming out of my mouth. All right, Brother John, first you guys play the chord, I will play the melody, and then when we get to the bottom, we'll switch. Okay, I'm going to play melody, you're going to play the E chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch to melody. 0, 2, 4, 0, 2, 4, 4, 5, 7. I messed up the timing. 4, 5, 7. 79754 oh 79754 oh 000 000. And I apologize, my timing was terrible on that. Let's do it one more time, just the melody. 1, 2, 3, 4. Page 2, Farmer in the Dell. Farmer in the Dell is the A chord, and the melody is, that's not what we want to do. We want to go to, not Farmer in the Dell, Frère Jacques. Sorry, Frère Jacques. That's what we need to go to first. Frère Jacques, again, you play the A chord, I'll play the melody, and then we will switch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can't say the words of the numbers that I'm looking at. Always exciting. Again, first 2 songs in the book, don't care if you play the tough axe at all. Don't care at all. I care that you play the melody and that you play the chord. Then things change. Then Farmer in the Dell, this is where we play all 3 versions. Okay? So first, let's just play together. We'll play it through 3 times. First time the A chord, second time the melody, third time the tough axe. And each time we'll slow down just a little bit. 1, 2, the farmer in the dell, the farmer in the dell. Hi-ho, the dairy-o, the farmer in the dell. To the melody, ready, play. Tough axe, and I know both of you guys are good at that. Let's give it a try. 1, 2. Into measure 8 when I meant to play into measure 9. So at Farmer in the Dell, especially if you're getting ready to teach somebody, that's where we start tough axe. So the first 2 songs I don't teach tough axe. I show them what it is, but I don't actually teach it. When I get to Farmer in the Dell, absolutely digging into that tough axe there, because the whole thing can be played holding the A chord, which is very cool. Okay, third song, of course, is where we usually people decide if they're in or out, is on Row, Row, Row Your Boat. Okay, let's play the D chord, then let's play the melody, then let's play the tough axe. Remember, you're going to go down to 10, and you probably want to grab 10, 10, and 11. Index finger grabs both 10s, middle finger grabs the 11. 1, 2. Oh, that's too fast. 1, 2. Row, row. D chord on, ready, play. As you can tell, that those 3 levels of difficulty are exactly what we want or exactly what you'll encounter in all of the music we do. Chords, relatively easy to do compared to everything else. Melody, not that hard to do, but boy, it's got to be right. And then tough acts is significantly harder than the other 2. So, which makes sense, right? You're taking 2 different ideas and combining them together. Very nice. Vic says, feeling good. Hey, that's exciting. Finally, 3 Blind Mice. With 3 Blind Mice, sort of when I'm in person with people, I just use it as a triple check. Just make sure that they know what they're doing, more or less, with the chords and the melody. This tough act is so hard to play that I don't ever, I would never judge a student on whether they can pull it off or not. It's just too hard. But let's play the same thing 3 different ways. G chord, then melody, then chords. Chord melody. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 blind mice. 3 blind mice. See how they run. See how they run. They all went after the farmer's wife. She cut off their tails with a carving knife. Have you ever seen such a sight in your life as 3 blind mice? 2, 3. Okay, melody from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember to grab your alternate G shape. Basically plant your ring and middle finger. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very challenging to play the tough acts on that one, and I designed it that way on purpose to be that level where you're really pushing forward and you're like, oh, I could play 3 Blind Mice, that's a stupid song, and then you try to play that and you're like, oh, that's a lot that's going to take a little more effort than I thought. And that's the end of book 1. Other things that we didn't talk, that we don't we spend so much time playing music, we don't spend enough time talking about holding the guitar. If you'll notice, if I let go of my guitar, it doesn't go anywhere. And so you also want to have figured out a way to hold your guitar where it doesn't go anywhere. So that way you're not fighting the guitar while you're also fighting your left and fighting your right hand. Classical guitar, we tend not to use a strap. All the other styles of guitar, we tend to use a strap. On classical guitar, I have put this little contraption on here to help me hold it. I think most classical guitar players are going to something similar to that. The last thing, and all we talked about on day one, your thumb should never ever be seen. It should be riding around behind your middle finger. Tuning, of course, E, A, D, G, B, E. If you haven't purchased a top-of-the-line snark, I think it's called ST8, fully chromatic, high-definition screen, modern computer. No question in my mind that should be on the end of every guitar. And they're wonderful. And so tuning, holding, and then obviously playing our 3 different ways, and then finally thinking about what's your practice routine. You know, how are you sitting down every day for 5-10 minutes to play? That's going to do you a world much more good than sitting down for an hour and a half on Sunday, right? And so 10 minutes a day, right? I usually say 1 minute a day because it's that first minute getting your butt in the chair and getting the music out in front of you that's the hard part. Once you're there, it's easy to spend 30 minutes working on this. All right, book one. Book one we'll revisit. I'm going to take a little bit of time off in August to write out. As you guys saw last night, we do need to spend a little bit of time cleaning up some of the work that we're doing for the guitar orchestra. In addition to that, I have to write out the arrangements for the ukulele orchestra, and it always takes longer than I think it's going to. So I'm going to be dialing back. I will keep the Monday night, Tuesday night, and Wednesday night classes as is for now until it looks like it's going to be a problem. But the daytime classes are going to start turning into much less work for me, and here on, I keep looking at this page going, where is what I'm looking for? I'm staring at the Mammoth Gardens website. For us, the book one class is going to go away until September 7th. So the new people I'll just ask them to start on September 7th. And book 2 and book 3 in classical, I need to keep those rolling for those of you guys that are making your leveling up type thing. All right, book 2. Let's go grab Carnival of Venice and see how that's coming along for us. Book 2. Carnival of Venice. All right, so in book 2 we talked about C chord, G7 chord, the least pleasant pairing of introductory songs there. Gary said, "Hey Gary, better late than never. Good to see you. Good to see you, Gary. You're a book 2, book 3 kind of guy anyway, Gary. So we just finished up book 1. Let's move on to Carnival of Venice." All right, I think what I'd like to do, first time through, I just want to play the melody. So if you want to play chords or you want to play along with me on melody, either one of those is totally legit. We'll just do that one time through just so we can remember how the song sounds. Then we'll go through and play the Tough Axe version. Okay, so start with a ring finger on 3. I'm going to play the melody. 1, 2, 2. Obviously, if you're playing it, doing the repeat, you would then hit the 3 and go back around. If you're not doing the repeat, you don't play 31 and you do play 32. Okay, So there's that beautiful little tune. And so now I'm going to play Tough X twice. Okay, so I'm going to play all the way down to measure 31. I am going to make the turn, come back to the top, and play it again. And let me get this hooked up to my machine here. When we get to the more advanced songs, I don't have time to reach up and hit the button. And let's see how we do on this one. Remember, you're going to have that bar on 5. That's one of the harder things in this song. 1, 2. Book 2, right? That's a lot of song for Book 2. It's only 2 chords, but there's a whole bunch going on there, and I am 100% engaged in the sheet music. So if you're struggling with that one makes sense. It is a really pretty challenging tune. It is a Book 2 song because it's only got 2 chords in it, but that doesn't mean, and those 2 chords are 2 of the hardest. I do think it's a really good exercise for helping you get comfortable with C and G7 and all of the typical notes that you're going to see show up in that key. And so you're using your pinky a lot and your index finger a lot to get your melody notes in, and twisting the heck out of your thumb is the other thing that's happening on that song. All right, there we go. Let's push that into the archives, pretend that we played it perfectly. Let's talk very quickly about Clementine. Clementine is as most of you guys know, it's an old-fashioned cowboy, gold miners kind of song. Clementine here is going to die. She's not going to go very far. Our narrator here is a pile of garbage, and what he is doing, he says, I can't help. Poor Clementine goes down to the water to feed the ducks, and she's poor, being she doesn't have shoes, so she wears boxes for her shoes. She, of course, trips, falls in the water, and drowns. Narrator does not try to save her because he doesn't know how to swim, apparently. Doesn't even try. Goes around feeling very sorry for himself about poor Clementine until he ends up kissing her sister, and then everything's fine, right? And then he forgets entirely about Clementine. So we have a very unpleasant little narrator on this song. And mostly you know the tune, but and also there's tons of parodies on this song as well. Big thing for you, like we have done in some of the other songs in the book, A chord, going to E7 and back. That's one skill you just gotta have as a guitar player, getting from A, getting to E and back. 1, 2. In a cavern, in a canyon, excavating for a mine, dwelt a miner, 49er, and his daughter Clementine. Oh, my darling, oh, my darling, oh, my darling Clementine. Dreadful sorry Clementine. Right, and so it goes, how many verses? 8 verses. When you have some moment, read through all the verses. They're actually pretty funny. But getting from A to E7 and back. Not a book one skill quite, but pretty much, in the sense that we learned A in book one and we learned E in book one. E7, the only difference is your ring fingers pulled up, and then of course getting back and forth between the two. You want to work on your strategy. If you're at A, your index finger goes back, and then these two guys jump on. And to get forward, pull these guys up, move your index finger where it's supposed to be, drop those on there. Okay. Melody, nothing too much to talk about here, so let's just go ahead and play it. 2s, 3s, and 1s. That's going to be first position all the way through. 1, 2. Do take a look at measures 17 and 18 when you come around the last time, however many times you want to do it. You're coming out of the E7 chord to 1-0, and then you go to the measure 17, 2, and then that 5 with the little wiggle above it means to do a 5, and then give it some vibrato. Okay, and vibrato is a technique that you'll use a lot on the last note of songs. In any long note, usually, you take your pinky, don't lift it up, just wiggle it back and forth, and you'll hear that in your guitar. Metal string guitar is better than plastic string, but still hear it a little bit. You can also do it with your ring finger. You can kind of do it with your middle finger. And I find it very challenging with my index finger because my index finger is too smart for all this. So I'm basically moving my arm more than anything else. just creating a wah, 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 wah sound. That's what's going on at measure 5. Now, I'm going to play through Clementine for you one time, and then obviously your job this week is to play it until you're comfy with it. The big thing with the tough axe here is you are going to need those chord shapes on just exactly like it shows up above, and then with your E chord, you're also going to have to add your pinky on at 3. And you're gonna hate it. So let's put the A chord on and let's walk through it real slow. Just use your thumb the first time. Use your thumb until you really get what your left hand's supposed to do. Then go back through and practice with your claw. We'll just play it one time so you can hear what you're working on this week. 1, 2. E7. E7 with your pinky on 3. Let me put my fingers on the right string. A chord. E7. Second time, last time you come around, you got a bar on 2 and a pinky up on 5. That's how you'll finish it up. So next week we'll probably play it through 2 or 3 times, just to see how you're doing. It's a fairly short song, but it's long if you do all 8 verses. So we won't ever do all 8 verses, but take time to read through them. They're cute. And then, so that's Clementine. I was going to fix 2 things that I fixed in the other gadget, and now I need to fix them in this gadget. All right, there's that. That's your homework for the week. Book 2 people know who you are too, right? It's okay to sit and study all of the songs each week, but if you feel like, hey man, I'm mostly a book 2 person, that's where you should put your energy. All right. Poor Clementine, she ends up dead. All right, let's go play "You Are My Sunshine." We had a revised version of this last week, so hopefully it's playing well for you. Book 3. That's the ukulele book. I'm like, what? That doesn't look right. All right, "You Are My Sunshine." And remember, this week, what I did was get rid of, hopefully made the F chords a little bit more tolerable for you on this. So let's see if we got it right. Okay, nice and slow, tough axe, melody, chords, whatever you want to play. I'm going to play the tough axe twice. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops. 2, 3. So it plays just fine. By the way, when you're those of you in book 3, right? Don't forget to go have some fun with it too. You guys know we're an orchestra last night that playing melody at a high rate of speed is important, and so it doesn't hurt at all to just see how fast you can play this. Finding there is, man, reaching my pinky up to 5 in proper timing is not good. So I might think about just repositioning my hand, reaching up and grabbing the 5 from up here. Let's try it that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 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 3, 4, rest. Time I got the 5s better, but I lost my clarity on the 3s and 1s coming out of the 5. So then I'm thinking, all right, maybe I don't do my full reposition of 5. Maybe I just reposition, maybe to try to reposition to 2 technically, so that my pinky can get that. Let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. Rest. So I'm still not coming up with the perfect solution, because then I'm hitting my 3 and I'm forgetting to transfer back to 1. And so I think being mindful when you're studying something like that is to really be thinking about, all right, I am going to have to get fast at playing those orchestra songs. And the way I get fast at playing those orchestra songs is being mindful on a little bit easier song. Where's the problem? How do I go about fixing it? Okay. Vic says measure 6. She loves that F chord. Isn't that fun? You get to measure 6. You know how you do your C chord? Blah blah blah. Blum blum blum. That's not how it plays it. Bump blump. Am I on the right fingers? 1, 2, 3. There's C. C's my nemesis. You got that C chord. The important 2 notes here are these. If you take your ring finger off, you notice that the relationship here is 2nd string, 1st fret, 4th string, 2nd fret. So if you change them out to middle and ring, don't play the 5th string. Okay, now you have their relationship. Now you can take a bar and just slide that thing all the way up. So it's a C here. If I slide it up 2, it becomes a D. If I slide it up 2 more, it becomes an E. And here's the magic. When I slide it into the 5th position, I'm holding my C shape in front of a 5th bar, and now I'm all set up for measure 6. Just like Vic says, pretty sweet here. Hap, and then P. Okay, and then you got grab 5, 3, 1. Or however you think to do it. Or however you get 5, 3, 1 in. You're already holding the 5 down. So you may want to play that individual 5 underneath the bar and then go grab 3, 1. That's probably what I was doing. But yeah, super cool moment. Those of you from the ukulele land, you'll remember we do B flat all the time down here. Well, on ukulele, the same shape up here on 5 is a B flat. Okay, tuned differently, but the same theory applies. So instead of B flat to B flat, you're playing F chord to F chord. Okay, cool. Bar chords are wonderful. All right, so we'll put this in the can. Don't stop playing it unless you hate the song. But that's it for You Are My Sunshine for a while. Let's go grab Aloha Oe, which obviously I had last week and didn't put into the set list. Aloha Oe guitar. Okay. We'll play through this one time. And this will probably be our holdover. Let's see how we play it, though. Let's see how Gary plays it. Okay, from the top. 1, 2. Oh, it's 3 beat counting. I always want this to be in 3. Really, really bad. All right, 2 beat counted. 3 beat counted. 1, 2, 3. Such a good song. If you let your guitar ring, don't poke at it, right? Don't poke at your guitar. Just take your thumb and just let every note happen at whatever speed you can play that at, and you got a winning song on your hand. It just flows exactly like you're sitting on the beach in Hawaii. And really, really, really outstanding piece of music. Look, Queen Lily Kalani, 1878, Lilia Kalani. She was killing it. She's killing it. Let's carry that over one more week, and so next week we will continue on with that one. And then let's pull up Amazing Grace as our new one for the week. And I don't think I have it in the gadget yet. Sheet music. All right, Amazing Grace. It's coming up in your life. Here we are with C, F, and G again. And you notice that a lot of the tunes are in this level end up in C, F, and G, mostly because we got to work on them. We got to get good at them. And so this song is something that I hear it played a lot around solemn events and so on. So it wouldn't be a bad idea to have it in your quiver of things that you can just knock out. All right. Linda says it does sound Hawaiian. It's amazing. And the nice part about Aloha Oe, you don't have to play it fast. You can play it whatever speed your fingers will allow you to play it, and it'll still sound amazing, right? Let your guitar ring. Don't poke at the guitar, but just let those strings ring, and I think you'll really end up with a nice song there. All right, Amazing Grace from the top. I'm going to play thumb through the whole thing, but this is definitely a song where you want to play it both ways with your claw and your thumb to find your best choice here. Get your C chord on. 1, 2. Much drama as you can in that, as slow as you need to. You guys will remember that took ukulele from me. Amazing Grace, we use that in that group to show how you do not have to move your hands around to make the song come out. You barely have to move your fingers at all. Your version on guitar, complete opposite. There's a lot going on here. You got to move your fingers around all over crazy. And so the one thing that I want to point out, measure 3, and it happens a couple places in the song. You've got your F chord, right? That's the song that's the chord you're playing, but you really only have to play 1, 2, 3 to get the chord and the melody in there, and so that's what's arranged there. A lot of times, Tough Axe is actually a little easier to play than the chords. With this one, it would also, if you know anybody who sings, or anybody who goes to church, they'll know this song, and it might be fun to bring them over and say, all right, you sing, I'm going to practice my chords. I got to get my F chord in good shape. And let's do that now. Okay? You know I can't sing, but we'll try. 1, 2. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Okay. Now that's with just claw plucking, but you can also use your thumb strum or your index finger strum or your pick if you still own picks. You can do all of that on there. So spend some time on it this week. Get it as dramatic and as reverential and as holy as you can possibly get it. And then we'll play that next week. Beautiful. So next week, Aloha Oe. We will play Aloha Oe. We will play Amazing Grace. And then our learning piece next week. Let me just peek and see what it'll be. Book 3, Aloha Oe, Amazing Grace. Oh, we tossed in America the Beautiful, which is really one of those sort of patriotic songs that you're like, oh God, it's an America song. But when you play it, you're like, oh, well, that's a nice melody. So again, a lot of these songs that we end up playing, you're going to end up playing a lot of songs that you think are complete hokum. But when you look at the skill set underneath them, that's really what you care about. Which chords am I going to be dealing with? How is the melody related to those chords? And it's funny, every now and then in one of the orchestras, I'll get somebody who's newer, and they'll say, I don't really like the music we're working on. I think I'll come back next semester. That's not what that means is I'm not really willing to practice, and I won't be back next semester. That's what it really means, but they blame it on the music. And I would tell you, the longer you're in music, the longer you realize that I don't even care what the song is. I want to know measure by measure, what am I going to be doing? I don't know if all musicians feel that way, but I'm betting the vast majority of classical musicians are like, just give me the sheet music, let me study what I got to do, I'll play my part, and then whatever happens, happens. I do know there's also some artists out there who probably really deeply care passionately about the music that they're creating, but I think for most part, most classical musicians are probably like, I just got to get the notes out. All right, guys, that's books 1, 2, and 3. If that's what you're interested in, you can sneak out tonight. Good to see all of you. We're going to switch over now to the classical stuff, and I know this is not for all of you, and so that's perfectly fine. If you're like, you know what, I don't really like classical music, what I just said. I will tell you that I really don't like this version of Acadian Lullaby, but who cares? I just got to execute it, right? And I'm in a absolute awe and wonder and pure adoration for Carcassi's Andantino. I spent quite a bit of time studying up on it this week. It's really, I went and found his original book and all this stuff and dug into it, and it's a warm-up exercise in the key of C of his instructional manual. So it's intended to be relatively easy to play, but it sounds beautiful on the guitar. So so if you're sneaking out after book 3, have a great night. I'll see you next week. Consider coming to ukulele or guitar orchestra on Tuesday nights, even just online, to work on playing melody faster. That's one of the things I think that both we discovered last night was the more people we get playing melody, the easier it is to know where you are in the song, and the more solid the song sounds. And so if you can read tablature and play melody, you can be in the orchestra, and we just need you to get faster, right? And we need you to get where you don't care if you make a mistake, because once you get to that point, you realize there are no mistakes. It's just how you played it, and you're moving on from that spot. So there's that. All right, guys, if you are going to stick around for classical, let's go grab Acadian Lullaby. Acadian, I think is how it's pronounced. Where is it? There it is, Acadian. And let's put this together. I'm going to have Linda take the lead since she is Canadian. Let's see, Vic, studying a sheet of music is a skill to acquire. I think so. It's interesting, don't you think, Vic, after all these months together, at the end of the day, it's just a little bunch. It's a bunch of notes on lines, right? It's a bunch of numbers on lines, one depending on how you're reading it, and every single song is completely different, even though the skill set is very similar from song to song to song, so it's exciting. All right, Gary, good to see you. Have a great week. I think when part of our job as musicians is to acquire this more, whatever level you're at, to get your level up a little bit higher, of just looking at a piece of music and making it happen. Started picking already. Nice. All right. So, Linda's like, I'm already playing the song. Could you shut up and let's go? All right, let's go. All right. Nice and slow. I don't think this one wants to be. It's a lullaby, and I think the arrangement is terrible. All right, from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. how do we play? Okay, let's do it one more time, and then let's take a look at the other one. From the top, pretty much I am anchoring index, middle, and ring on strings 1, 2, and 3, and then when I need my pinky, it's jumping in, or when I need my thumb, it's jumping in. But for the most part, these 3 fingers are just jumping in. I'm really not using the chord shapes at all. It's really not necessary on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. One of the things that I probably didn't do a good job of is coaching you on dynamics. That will show up more and more and more in more advanced classical music. So pay attention to those things. This song starts off as mezzo piano, which means pretty quiet. Not loud, not quiet, not soft, but pretty quiet. And then when you get to measure 5, you're supposed to go to piano, which means quiet, right? So don't press your luck there. And you can really feel the song sort of slow down there, just a little, not slow down, but simplify a little bit. And then, so play that just a little quieter, and then pick the volume up again at measure 9, mezzo piano. Play through that, and then it drops again at 13 to the end. So try, you don't, you're playing on an acoustic guitar, and so the difference between quiet and loud are not necessarily that noticeable. If you plug into an electric amplifier and put a fuzz pedal on, you can play forte. If you are on an acoustic classical guitar, you can make a difference in those two feelings, but it's a very slight gradation. So Vic says she's into it. Right? Okay. She lives closer to the Canadian border, so the song sort of leaks over. The thing I like the song itself. I think the arrangement here, it just sort of seems to, everywhere where I want it to be powerful, it's not, and everywhere it is powerful, I don't think it's necessary. So it's interesting how when you're looking at arrangers, you can start to think about, what are they meaning? Are they trying to teach me something here? And I think with this one, the idea is, hey, do what the paper says. Do what the paper says, right? Even though it doesn't necessarily follow what your heart wants it to do. So very fascinating. All right, so there's that. And those of you guys that are studying classical know that I do have the secret area where I'm putting all the classical music. And if you are coming in late, you can start at the very beginning and go through all of the songs that we've done. We're going to move on now to the, and I can't find the doggone thing, Andantino, Opus 59. Have I not loaded it in here? Apparently I have not. Let me go grab it real quick. And this is a song that, what's going on here? Where's my song? How come that? Oh, guys, I'm going to learn how to run an iPad yet. I feel confident. I feel like sometimes it's just enough different than what I'm used to. All right, here's the thing. G chord, C chord, G chord, C chord, D minor, A7, D7. Notice what you don't see in there, what you're expecting. There's no F chord in there. Okay, Carcassi was one of the early pioneers of guitar pedagogy. Probably wrote this around 1836, and all classical guitar students have to get to know a lot of Carcassi. So we'll be doing a lot of Carcassi. This piece is from the introduction to his Opus 59, which is his main instruction book. What you want to be thinking about here is these chord shapes are helpful on this one, and you're basically, again, you're going to plant these index, middle, and ring down here on strings 1, 2, and 3, and then your thumb is going to do any other strings. Okay, so if you grab your C chord and you've got ones and twos held down, well, look at your first measure. Now, the next one is a G chord, but you notice it's all zeros, so you can decide whether to hold the chord or not. Sometimes I've been doing it, sometimes not. This is the hard moment. You've got to get 2 3s. You got to get, and what I've been finding is my ring finger really wants to be on the 2nd string, so my index finger naturally ends up on the 4th string. Play the 3s, and then you go back to your C chord. This is not, this is sort of an odd thing. Your ring finger, you haven't used that on the 5th string yet, and you haven't used your other ring finger on the 1st string yet. So now here's your chance, okay? So outsides, index fingers on that 3rd string. And then your G7 is just a 1 down here. And notice your thumb is dropped to the 4th string. Ring finger up on the top string and use your middle finger on your right hand, and then right back to your C chord. Okay, let that ring for a minute, and then now you're going to repeat. C chord. 3 on high. Down below, 3 way up, C chord, and now go to your 2nd ending, C chord. Okay, let it ring. Now just hold the 1s. Now this is a 1 3 0. I am not convinced it's a D minor. I think it might be a G7, to be honest with you. So I'm going to study this piece at the moment here just a little bit more, but it sounds very classical. It sounds not like it belongs here. I think it might be a G7 rather than a D minor, but 1 and 3, play those. Pretty sure this is an A7, 0 2. Back to 1 and 3. D7 here. Thumb drops to the 4th string. G chord, 3 0, and your thumb is still on the 4th string. D7. 3 0 0. Just use. Okay. Now I notice I have switched to index and middle and letting my thumb run strings 3 and 4 here. You can try using your middle and ring, but I think you'll probably on this 2nd part of the song be better off with your index and middle on strings 1 and 2. Okay, so then we're going to repeat. No, we're not. I lied. So now we go back to the main idea. So that little section there from 5 to 8 is really just a B section of the song. So now we're going to go right back to what feels like the beginning in the middle of measure 9. I'll count in 2, and then we'll go 1, 2. Whoops. Let me get the right chords on. 1, 2. 5, 1 on 1, 3 on 6, big C chord. Okay, now you repeat back up to 6. Isn't that nice? You feel like a classical guitar player playing that guy. And so once we've made it here, I think it's all downhill, right? Once you can play that, you are officially in the group. And so really pretty little piece of music. Have fun playing that one this week. And if you're newer or you want access to that classical section, I can just send me an email. If you've been with me from all the way back to, remember, lesson 13 is where we started. If you go all the way back to that, then you already have everything. But I put a checklist on there to kind of help you grow. I'm going to be making a video of each of these songs, and I haven't got those done yet. So it's still definitely a work in progress, but at least we're building it so that if you get where you're just killing it on classical, you can open up a guitar studio and have people come in and be like, all right, here we go, top to bottom, and you'll have everything in order and nice and easy to play. So oh, hey, Nancy, I didn't know you were here. Really like Andantino, beautiful. Yeah, thanks, Gary. You are welcome, Nancy. Nancy, Vic, Linda, Gary. I think Gary snuck out. So good to have you guys here. Thank you all for participating in orchestra as well. I know this early part is always a little demoralizing, a little crazy, but you can see even I am trying to get my head around the music, and I wrote it, right? So there's a lot of stuff going on. I think, again, stay focused in on being able to play melody at high speed, and then of course always go through and double check that you know how to make your chords and what to do when we have a chord that's just really unpleasantly difficult. So there we go. Vic, you're welcome. Thank you all for being here. And Linda says, I have to study the chords and fingering this week to play it properly. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, this piece, this Andantino piece, for the most part, not entirely, but for the most part, if you use your chord shapes, you'll get almost every note you need to have. There's a couple of exceptions. That middle of measure 1, when the double threes, that 3 on the 4th string is a little bit unusual. It's an which turns it into a G7 fundamentally at that moment, and so that's a little weird. And then I'm, like I say, at measure 6, I'm not positive that's a D minor. I'm feeling the way it sounds more like a G7 to me, so I'll probably end up switching that name out. But everything else is definitely surrounded around the chords, the shapes. And I would say with this one, start really slow, look at the chord, get your advice, go down, play the measure, and so on. Make yourself lots of notes, and then get where you're playing it slowly, pretty smoothly, and then start ramping up the speed. So, all right, guys, have a wonderful night. Thank you for being here. I will see all y'all probably tomorrow and or next week. So we're out. Peace.